talking internationally now, I'm not going to say the best for last because there's so much facets to your story, Kareem, and with Steve. And I got to say, hearing your story of playing together has been incredible and understanding how things went in the 2003 playoffs and then the life and times of Kareem. You cannot talk about Kareem Garcia without bringing up the three letters WBC. And that's where I think you most shined on the stage. I think you took the bull by the horns and you really gave your whole heart out to Team Mexico. And it was just incredible to watch you every single one of those games. And I love the tournament. And the tournament is coming up this year in 2023. Opening round is coming in March, and Team Mexico is going to be playing out of Arizona. And as luck would have it, a Steve Carsey lives in Arizona. And as luck would have it, a Jonathan Chosen Lawyer and Kareem Garcia happen to be going to Arizona in March, and we'll be watching WBC action. Kareem, how does it feel knowing to watch the WBC versus participating in it? Like, you must have that itch to want to put on a uniform right now.
Absolutely. I mean, when you see those games, every time you put the letters in front of you that represents your country, is USA or Mexico, you have to feel the pride that you wanted to play, you want to do the best, you want to show the rest of the world what is your country made of. Okay, and we have to play against the United States that we know is probably the favorite team to beat, you know. And then we have Canada, which they're not that bad either. And then we have, I think it's Germany or something else, a couple of teams. But Canada and United States are difficult tasks for Mexico, and we played them before, and we know they always put the All-Star team for the WBC, and this year it'll be the same. So I would love to see March 12th what's going to happen between Mexico and United States, because we had a couple of pictures over there that they're not that bad. Julio Urias is doing incredible things with the Tigers, and you got Urquidez, you got a couple other guys there. This is their time to shine right now to show them, what they're made of.
You participated in three WBCs, correct?
Yes.
2006, 2009, 2013. I'm going to save the worst for now, and I'm going to put that to the second because we're going to talk about that because I'm going to ask you about the second brawl, obviously. But I had a little bit of a summary. So there's been, there was 2006, 2009, 2013, and the last one was in 2017, right? And now it's coming back, fortunately. Mexico hosted the opening rounds in 2009, 2017. So 2009, you get to play the opening round in Mexico, which is incredible. You have Fernando Valenzuela and Teddy Higuera as coaches, and Vinny Castilla as a manager 1 year. How about for those names? So second round advance in 2006, right?
Yes.
With Team USA. So Canada and South Africa were out. You go into the second round, and you're got South Korea and Japan in your groupings. So
Yeah.
Team USA and Team Mexico are out, believe it or not. 2009, I found it very fascinating. I have a feeling, Steve, that the gamblers were in on this opening round and there was some heavy betting on overs because you got Mexico losing to Australia 17-7, Mexico beating South Africa 14-3, Mexico beating Australia 16-1, Mexico losing to Cuba 16-4. These are all baseball games, by the way, folks. This is not football games. It's not hockey games. These are baseball games. And then in round two, Mexico loses to Cuba and South Korea. So those second rounds are tough. When you get advancing and, those initial teams, the Cinderella stories come once they go and the big boys come, it's very, very difficult. In 2013, opening round out, you had USA, Italy, Canada. USA and Italy advanced. And in 2017, the host, you lose out as Puerto Rico and Venezuela advanced. Italy and Mexico are out. So
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, you look at the WBC history, Kareem, and you look at Japan, you look at USA, you look at Cuba, Venezuela. For coming from Team Mexico, look at the team like how much has to go right in order to be able to advance in a tournament like this.
Preparation. First of all, is preparation. The teams in Asia, they're ahead of everyone right now for the WBC because these guys, Japan and Korea, they're already working out since middle of January. Okay, they're all working out there. They're ready to play a game right now if you put them on the field. And some of the guys are getting ready for spring training. So your body is not ready to competition. So to put your body ready for or in shape for competition in 2 3 weeks
Hmm.
is very difficult. You can be an all-star, you can be a Superman if you want to, but it's difficult to get the timing and everything going right for that.
And I gotta ask you, Steve, being stateside and having seen this tournament continue through its progression, I love it. I always thought this should be as big as the World Cup of soccer, and I was really excited when they first created it, and it's been gaining traction. Pandemic put it on hold for a bit, obviously, but my feeling is, it has not gotten anywhere close to its potential. Like this tournament should be a lot bigger, should be really globally exposed. When we're gonna go down and watch the tournament, I guarantee we'll be able to get tickets to any of those games anytime we want. Why is that, do you think? Why do you think WC is not getting enough of its, especially stateside, as it should?
Yeah, I love the tournament. I think it's incredible that they're able to get all of the players to participate and to represent their country because it's such a special thing. I just don't think it's as big, in my opinion, is because they're doing it so early, right? Guys aren't in shape, as you say, where you know soccer and the World Cup, it's put on a big stage over a month, and you can't do that with the Baseball Classic because you can't just disrupt a Major League Baseball season because of the dollar value that is put on what owners want to make. So they have to do it either at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season. Now, do we do it at the beginning of the season when guys are fresh and they're getting ready? Some teams don't like that because of injuries and things like that with their major league clubs? Do we do it at the end of the season after the World Series? But do we get the same type of players in these tournaments at those times? So, I just think it's a really hard dynamic to put together. They've done the best that they can to get the best players from every country to participate. And you're seeing it gain traction, right? You're seeing now the people in these different countries who want to represent their country, and it means a whole more to them about representing the letters on the front of the jersey as opposed to the back of the jersey when this comes about. So obviously, I think the position players are in a much better position. As hard as it is to get ready, hitting, fielding, get your body ready, and all of that in 3 weeks, it's even harder for a pitcher
Yeah.
unless he's been throwing for such a long time. But as everybody knows, and I've tried to explain this to a lot of people that I have run into on the amateur side, is throwing a bullpen or throwing in a simulated game is completely different than throwing in a World Baseball Classic or a Major League game as far as the intensity goes, as far as what your body is able to put out, and you just become more sore after an outing in a real game as opposed to something that's either a bullpen session, a live BP session, or a simulated game. So I think that's kind of roundabout factors that I think where it hasn't been on a world stage as some of the other sports have.
Kareem, I'm going to ask you the same question. Where do you see the WBC as far as where it's been, where it's going, and you know, should it be more popular? And what, if anything, what is holding back the tournament? Do you think?
I gotta agree with Steve. I mean, you gotta put it. For me, you gotta be after the season, not before the season, because someone gets injured before the season, then the teams are gonna start stopping players from going into it. After the season one, you already finished everything, and it's nothing else, and you're still fresh. You can play these games at a certain level or a better level. Right now, not everybody is ready to play these games. Unfortunately, every year someone gets hurt, and just guess the way it is. And the other thing is, you say you're gonna be tickets. Is one game. There's not gonna be any tickets left. Mexico, USA. They're already sold out because there's so many people that wants to see that game, and it's a lot of Mexicans in Phoenix. So
Mm-hmm.
believe me, that's as I remember playing in WC. Every time we play against the United States, it's either 40,000, 35,000 people in the stadium. So believe me, that's the only game that probably is going to be sold out. The rest of them, it's nothing I can say about it.
I gotta tell you, I sleep very well at night. I have some connects. I have a feeling I will end up at the game, but we shall see. The cool thing about this, as the tournament expanded and you have the qualifiers in the off season, right? And I can tell you, of being Jewish descent and getting to hear news from Israel, they went bananas when Team Israel was a Cinderella story and they actually got qualified and were going to make the tournament. This was a very big deal for a very small country that's not known for baseball whatsoever. I think there's probably two baseball fields, if that in the whole country, and having them advance and building up knowledge of baseball. Wow, we're good at something. This is fantastic. We're not just getting Olympic medals in judo now. You know, this is a for a whole country. It captivates them and it brings attention to the sport, and it's a good thing. And all of a sudden, players that wouldn't even get a sniff anymore, they all of a sudden are getting exposed to the tournament and they're getting signed. You know, it's a really good way of finding talent. In other countries, you know, who'd have thought of Great Britain and who would have thought of South Africa and Australia? It's fantastic to see the globalization of the sport. So I'm really, really excited about that end of it. And I got to see Team Italy play here in Toronto when they came for their for the qualifiers. The team that really stuck there was Venezuela. Like they were singing and dancing the whole game. Venezuela, ooh, Venezuela, ooh. And they were just having a great time. Gotta ask you because the one country that always stuck out to me, now things have opened up there, but before was Team Cuba. So you're watching Team Cuba play on TV, and you see there's guards with machine guns in the dugout. That seems a little odd. And every single time there's an issue with a pitcher, it's not the pitching coach that's going up there, it's a team doctor that's going to check on them. And the commentator is saying, why is the team doctor going to make the pitching change? Why is the team doctor talking to them? Well, it turns out the team doctor for Team Cuba was Castro's son, and he's a big celebrity yes. in Cuba. And I was thinking, you're walking around the hotel and you're bumping into Castro's son at the time. He's probably keeping an eye on you, you know? But, you know, how neat that was. And two incidents I remember very clearly was pitcher goes up a home run. The catcher runs out. He almost slugged him. He got so mad at him. And another one was I think the outfielder dropped the ball and another outfielder raced out to him, was going to slug him. Like, they are intense. Did you get the same feeling on the field playing Team Cuba?
Absolutely. I mean, those guys are different. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to go through too many things in their life to get to their team, and not advancing on the first stage. For them, is never playing baseball again at that stage. They will look for another 25 other guys that will do better than them. And they have so much talent in Cuba, you know, that is incredible. So those guys know losing one game is pretty much not coming back to the stage or not coming back to any other tournaments.
There's that expression, you know, it's always a funny one when you talk about, let's say, Dominican hitters or from Cuba. It's you don't walk off the island, you hit off the island. And they every single game, they're all looking to get home runs. And I think they're trying to show up for the scouts. And I don't know if they come back after the tournament and Castro sits them down in a room and, you know, they have to talk about how they did, but it felt like there was a lot of pressure. It felt like this is political, this is their careers, this is their family, this is money. This is not just about playing for fun. They were taking it very seriously. Would you say in those tournaments, was Cuba the most intense team versus other ones, or were a lot of the teams very intense from the get-go?
I want to say intense teams, probably Japan, the Asian teams, Japan, Korea, they're very intense. They're very strict. They got curfew, stuff like that, just like the Team Cuba, you know, and they're police all the time. They're heavy fines, I know, for the Asian teams if they're out of time, you know, out of their rooms, stuff like that. That's how intense they are. And I know after the game, some of those guys are still throwing bullpens after they just pitch in the game. Some of those guys are doing a couple hundred swings in the mirror just to perfect the swing for the next day. That's how they do it all the time.
Favorite WBC moments for you when you reflect across 3 tournaments that you played in? What sticks out to you as the best moments you got to participate in?
Probably the first game that I ever played, my WBC, you know, in front of all these people and getting my at bat and being recognized by the fans and stuff like that, you know, in a tournament. You know, I got some great moments during the WBC. I hit a couple home runs here and there, but you know, my first at bat, you know, on that stage representing my country, this gotta be probably the best.
And on that token, what was it like playing in the WBC when Mexico was hosting one of the rounds. What was it like being on your home turf?
Oh, it was incredible. It was a packed house, believe me. There was no tickets left at that time, but the stadium that we play in Mexico City is compared to Colorado Stadium, but higher. Actually, the ball carries
Mm,
more. So you hit a pop up, and it's probably going 450 feet long. That's a pop up. That's why those scores in 2009
hmm.
and 2013 were like crazy because 16-4 on this stadium is nothing. You're seeing games 22-27. It's like, are you playing football or are you playing baseball?
Yeah.
Well, as we're going to the 2023 tournament, and the three of us will find our way to the stadium and get to see the opening round in Arizona, are we going to see a reenactment of 2013? I got to ask you because I'm in Canada here, and we're very fun-loving people, but we take our hockey seriously and we love our hockey brawls. But apparently, Team Canada thought it was a hockey game at that point, and who was in the middle there? But of course, has to be Karim Garcia. So can you fill us in? What happened there on that WBC brawl between Team Mexico and Team Canada?
It's one of those unwritten rules in baseball. The Team Canada is winning for more than 7 runs in the game over in the sixth or seventh inning. And then they go and try to bunt the ball for a base hit, which they do. So that's showing no respect to the team or to the pitcher or to the other players. So of course you have to react. You have to hit the next guy, no matter what. And unfortunately, our pitcher at that time was so nervous because a young kid, Leon, he threw 3 balls behind the back of the hitter. It never hit him. Finally, on the fourth one, it hits him, and that's when all hell breaks loose, And you see what happened over there, a couple of throws here and there, But like you say, Canada was very fun because they pulled the shirt over your head and started going at it like hockey, which was kind of funny to me. I mean, I enjoyed it.
As soon as the brawl starts, Kareem's like, "I'm in, let's go." So
Yeah.
that's how you played the game. When you said you were trying to take out Todd Walker, I wasn't surprised because you rounded the bases. You're getting to that base. Nobody's going to stop you. So
Yeah.
the track came in handy. Kareem, honestly, you spent such a great time today with us and sharing your life and times, your stories in baseball, and been blown away. Honestly, it's you read it on paper, but it's another thing to hear the stories behind the man, and you've been very very open as far as sharing those for your fans out there that got to see you play. What where's Kareem at today? What's going on with you, and any messages you want to share for your fans?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to thank you guys for inviting me to the show. It was very nice. Remember some of the stuff, that I had, I play baseball. And as far as baseball is concerned, last year I started as a hitting coach in a team in Mexico in the summer league. And then I got the opportunity to manage a team in Mexico. Middle through the season, they asked me if I wanted to manage. So I took over to a team over there here in Mexico and managed for the rest of the year, which was my first experience as a manager professionally. And it was fun, it's different being a player than actually have 25, 26 guys that they have to listen to you and you work out or you have a different perspective what you want to do and these guys want to do. So now I understand managers even more than what I play, and it was fun. It's a learning experience. We're still learning, the other side of the coin, which is now being a coach, being a manager, trying to teach these guys, try to teach them the right way. But it's fun, and I love it. This year, I haven't tried anything so far. I'm still waiting to see if I'm gonna go back to Mexico and manage or coach, or just take it back a little bit and see what happens, and if I get a job in the States.
That's amazing. And if you ever do find the gig that works for you, you got a pitching coach here, maybe a strength and conditioning coach for $2 million a year. We'll listen. I can't make any promises, Kareem, but we certainly listen.
Absolutely, might be
Yeah.
2 million pesos, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Converted, I think we'll still make more money than we would in stateside, but that's to be determined. Uh, Steve, how great was it to see Kareem after 20 years? And I don't think he's changed a bit, eh?
No, same guy, same passion, loves the game. It's great seeing him. Unfortunately, the way the game works, sometimes you just lose connection with players, but it's a baseball family, right? Like when you
Yes.
see guys 20 years later, you remember the times, you remember who they are, you remember saying, or doing things, that are special within the game. And it's like you don't miss a beat. You just kind of pick up where you left off. And, that the guys like Karim staying in the game and wanting to teach it and the passion for the game is a beautiful thing because we're losing a lot of experienced guys wanting to stay in baseball with the transition of analytics. So kudos to you, Kareem, for managing, coaching, and staying in the game and passing on your wealth of knowledge to the young players.
Thank you, Sid.
And Steve, you gotta be careful, man, because we found Kareem. You remember in a previous episode, we found one of his teammates, his first roommate from St. Catharines, Ontario, in rookie ball. And they had each other for 30 plus years. He ended up not making the majors, Scott Burrell, but ended up, I don't know, he went to the NBA and played with Michael Jordan and stands. But he was
Something like that. Yeah.
True story.
You know what you call an NBA champion? A failed MLB player. So, Kareem, 24 years in the game, brother. Thank you for your contributions to baseball and life and friendship. And we definitely hope to have you back soon. We'll get the producers to talk to you and find your schedule and lots more stories to come. So, honestly, thanks for sharing today. You've been amazing.
Thank you, guys. Hopefully see you soon again. See you in Arizona.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Thanks, gents.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Stay well.